Hey guys, it's Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we are building a sky house, and this of course was inspired by a picture that I saw on Pinterest. I thought this looked really cool. I'll go on and put the picture that inspired this build up on the screen where you guys can kind of see what I was going for, but I thought this was just a really cool build. I don't know if this is concept architecture or if this is an actual house. I didn't look into it or anything like that, but I thought it looked really cool and I wanted to try to build it in The Sims. So this is basically my attempt at trying to recreate this picture. Of course, the original picture is so cool, and so this one, I feel like my build is a little bit longer than it should have been. I feel like I should have made it a little bit shorter. But I'm building on a 50 by 50 lot, so I decided just to kind of make it the length of the lot, so it's like 50 tiles long, or like give or take a few. So yeah, I wanted to place this build in Granite Falls because of course the inspiration picture you can see a bunch of like pine trees, and it kind of reminded me of the Granite Falls world, which is the world that came with the outdoor retreat pack. So I knew I wanted to put it there, but because it's a vacation world, I decided to actually build it in Willow Creek because I was going to be using the tool mod and I knew I was going to be doing a lot of back and forth, so I decided just to wait and place it in Granite Falls at the very end of the building. So for all of this, you guys are going to see I'm building in Willow Creek. So I'm on one of the 50 by 50 lots there, so this is a really big lot. And I do kind of wish that I had made the build a little bit shorter for the way that it would look, but I feel like it, like as far as the interior, it has just enough space. So anyway, we're working on the shell right now. I started out basically placing the first floor and the second floor, and then I went on and deleted the first floor because I did not want to have a foundation with this house. So I'm basically going to start off this build on the second floor, and that's just so that I could lift it up into the sky and it would be completely clear underneath it. But yeah, this is the bottom floor technically, and so you guys can see that I've done a lot of work already while I was talking, but basically I placed this little object you guys can see right now, which is a nightstand from the base game. I placed it all around the edges of this build to kind of add a makeshift fence because I wanted to have this really solid block color, and then I also wanted to kind of make my own shape, so I didn't want to have to be stuck with the restrictions of a fence. So yeah, I decided to use this little nightstand. I can't remember what it's called, but I learned how to do this of course from Kate Emerald's channel. I'll try to link that tutorial down below in the description box if I can remember, but I'm sure a lot of simmers have seen this trick before. But yeah, I just basically outlined the shape, and I am going to actually go on and place like a round foundation in that spot, so it is completely like a half circle, but I just didn't want to use the actual fencing for this build. And then you guys may have noticed while I was talking, I was also placing some base game doors on these little roof sections that I placed. So I used these roof sections to kind of make the shape that you guys may have noticed in the inspiration photo, and it was just like a kind of like a tilted little shape. I don't know how to describe it, but I wanted to kind of add some like structure to the build like that, so I decided to use the roofs to do that. And then I wanted to of course not see the wall underneath the roof, so I just used the doors and sized them down so that it would make the wall see-through or invisible or like non-existent, I guess. And I leave them big for a little while so you guys will see them for most of the video, but in the very end I go back with the tool mod and I'm gonna make them invisible completely with the tool mod, but of course they're still there because I needed them to be there to make the roof clear. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. If you have any questions, you can always ask me down below in the comments. I do feel like I'm pretty bad at explaining stuff, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But as you can see, I've placed the second floor now, which is technically the third floor, but I've placed another floor on top and I placed another roof just to kind of continue that shape through the house. So it kind of looks like it's almost like a structural thing, and I just thought that looked really cool. So yeah, this is the top floor of this build. This is the area that the bedrooms are going to be on and stuff like that when I get onto the interior. As you can see, this is like the biggest part of the build, but basically as far as the shape goes, I kept this pretty much exactly the same as the bottom floor. I just surrounded this same like section with the same little base game nightstand that I used on the bottom floor. The only difference is I did use the tool mod to size it up just a little bit. So I think it's like at 1.5 scale or something like that. So I did use the tool mod on this part just to make it a little bit bigger so that it would be a little bit different from the bottom floor. But basically this floor is pretty much the same kind of concept as the bottom floor. It just kind of is longer. So I am going to add a roof, of course, to this build as well. And to do that, I basically just copied that same floor that I just worked on, and I copied it and put it on the roof. Then I deleted all the like walls and everything, and right then I went on and added some platforms just to make it to where you couldn't see the top of the roof that was clipping a little bit. I just added some platforms to cover that up, and then used the tool mod to push that nightstand object that I'm using down. And so then I finally decided to raise this build up in the sky, and I had some issues with that, so I did decide to go on and do it because some of the objects weren't kind of hanging on to the right floor. So you guys may have noticed they stayed way down, so I had to use the tool mod to lift them up as well because they weren't actually attached to the well, it's not foundation, but like to the flooring. So yeah, this is basically the shell of this build. As you guys can see, I'm placing some columns around just to kind of add a little bit more structure to the build. And then for the landscaping, I did decide to add some plants and stuff to the actual house, as you guys can see right now. And I am going to landscape the land around as well, but that landscaping is really simple. This is pretty much like the decorative stuff. I do have some base game plants and some plants from the get together pack. I think they were all debug plants and stuff. And then I used this like base game, I think it's base game hedge, to kind of go around the actual like walls of the build. But yeah, the landscaping is really simple. I added this to the house just because I thought it gave it a kind of natural look and I thought it was cool. And like I said, you guys will see me landscape the actual lot a little bit later. But the landscaping is really simple for this build because I knew it was going to be up really high and you weren't really going to see it. So now we're on to the interior, and the interior of this house has 2 bedrooms. Both of them have a double bed, but this is what I would consider to be the master bedroom just because it's a little bit bigger. So as you can see, we're kind of going with a kind of modern maybe theme, maybe a little bit minimalist, but there is a pretty good amount of clutter in this build. But yeah, I wanted it to just be really modern and kind of futuristic because this is such a kind of different concept for a house. So it's a little bit different on the interior, but I tried to make it look a little bit homey. You could definitely use this lot if you wanted to. You could change it out for like a museum or a spa or something like that, but I decided just to go on and make it a residential lot. And so this is the master bathroom. It's really simple. I don't even think I recorded the footage of the other bathroom just because they're really simple and they were basically the same color schemes and everything. So this is the master bathroom, but there is going to be another bathroom in this build. And then of course we have a kitchen and a dining area, which is pretty large, and I'm going to have a couple of living areas. And then on the exterior of the build, most of the like little kind of patio spaces, that's what I'll call it, I don't know what else to call it, but most of those spaces I kind of turned into some form of a living area as well, like with a yoga mat or a meditation stool or like some seating or something. But yeah, this is the second bedroom. Well, that went by really fast, but because I already had recorded one bedroom, I didn't want to take up a bunch of time doing the other one. But there is a second bedroom. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and then this is the kitchen area. So like I said, I tried to keep it really modern and kind of just, I don't know, kind of modern, minimal kind of vibe going on in here. And I kept really neutral tones as well. Since the exterior of the house is pretty much all white, I did decide to add a few different colors just to give it a little bit more character. But yeah, it's pretty simple interior. But I do hope you guys enjoy this build. It's a little bit different from what I've been doing lately, but I do like trying to build kind of more abstract builds in The Sims as well. And this is functional. I did playtest it. I'm gonna go on in the end. I don't know if I actually recorded that or if I put it in later, but I do add a ladder to get up to this house, so it is completely functional. However, probably if I was playing with this house, I would probably just teleport. But I figured that some people don't know how to do that, so I did decide to add some kind of an entrance to the build. So there is just a really long ladder on the exterior, but it does take your Sims a little while to climb up there, so it's a little bit of a pain. So that's why I would probably teleport if I was using this build. But I did playtest it. It is completely functional. Everything worked out pretty well, considering like all the kind of different things that I did while I was building this. So yeah, this is one of those like patio areas like I was talking about. So you can see that I added some furniture, and then I think the other one is where I added like a meditation stool and stuff like that. So this is the living area. So this is the bottom floor of the house, and basically this whole little room I just decided to make into a living area because I already had bedrooms and a kitchen. I already had pretty much everything that was needed for this build, so I decided to make this a little living area. And as you can see, we have a little desk and computer space. I think this is actually the only computer in this build, so this is, I guess, the little office area. So I'm also going to add a couch and a TV and some chairs and stuff to this living area. As you guys can see, I skipped some footage because I was struggling to decide what kind of like furniture to use in this area. But yeah, like I said, it's very minimalist. I used this column from Spa Day to make like a little bit of a table because I felt like it fit in with the style of the build better than any of the other like accent tables that we had. So I used the tool mod on that like pillar or column, whatever it's called, to kind of rotate it to where it's on its side and it kind of looks like a table. So I hope you guys like that. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the interior of the build. I added a few like activities right there and just different stuff for your Sims to build their skills and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for the interior. You guys can let me know what you think down below in the comments. I really liked the way the interior of this house turned out, so I hope you guys do as well. But basically, I think all that's left is just landscaping the lot. So I did try to use some terrain tools because I kind of wanted it to have like a hill, but I kind of got over that really fast too. So it's not the bottom of it. It does kind of look really rough, but it doesn't look great because I don't know, I find the terrain tools kind of difficult to use. So I did add a pond and of course some debug rocks and plants and stuff. I think a lot of the stuff I chose was from the base game. I don't think I chose a lot of the plants from the outdoor retreat pack. It's not my favorite like pack as far as landscaping goes. So I did use trees from that pack, but pretty much all the plants and stuff I think are probably base game. Or I did, like I said, for the actual house, I did use some plants from the Get Together pack as well. But yeah, this is pretty much it for this build. I'm basically going to do the simple landscaping. As you guys can see, that's what I'm working on right now. You can kind of see the ladder a little bit from this point of view. But yep, this is it for the sky house. I would love to know what you guys think about it. If you feel like leaving a comment, definitely leave me one down below. I love hearing from you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this build. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk in the next video. Bye!